Are you a mid-career professional feeling stuck in your career with every day becoming less fulfilling than the last? Wondering how you can break out of this pattern and step into something you love? Maybe you've started to dread Monday mornings, or you're unable to see a way out of the career you feel you're now stuck in. You thought this afforded you the life you wanted, but when you picture life being this way for the next 30 years, you get this huge sinking feeling in your chest, and you know you need to find a way out. But how? Well, if this sounds like you, this video is for you. I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step framework on how to create a thriving career and life full of abundance and joy through my unique 6-step magnetic success method. Now, I want to say this video is not for everyone. This is for you if you are a mid-career professional that feels stuck or at a crossroads in your career and life, and you're finding yourself in repeated negative patterns of doubting yourself, believing you're not good enough, you're too old, you don't have the skills or time or money. Or perhaps someone told you that you're never gonna amount to anything, and this has stuck with you. Now, I also want to move on to who this video is not for. This is not for you if you are unemployed or at the beginning of your career, because typically people that have gone through this process have been successful in their careers. They've had successes, but now they want to step into something fulfilling whilst building their financial freedom and thriving across multiple areas in their lives, including their health, family, and relationships. And this takes time and investment in changing yourself. They also don't usually have a scarcity mindset or are desperate to find a job under any circumstances. And they understand that you have to invest in yourself in order to change all areas of your life. Now, there have been exceptions to the rule, of course. I have helped Sonia, Simon, and a number of others over the last couple of years who have not been mid-career professionals, but they have all been keen for support, eager to learn, and have been open-minded and understand that this process isn't an overnight fix. So if you are looking for a quick fix and you don't want to invest in yourself, then you can stop watching this video now. It is super important that I manage your expectations because that is really important to me and your success. So if you are a mid-career professional and you can relate to either or all of these points that I just mentioned, then this video is for you. If you've been repeating negative patterns of behavior, such as doubting yourself, limiting beliefs that you can't, or that you're not good enough, feeling frustrated and not feeling recognized or valued, yet you don't know how to get out of feeling this way or what direction to go in, then going through the whole of this video will allow you to stop repeating mistakes from the past, get clear on what you want so that you can have the clarity and be in a career and life that you love in 6 months or less. I'm going to break it down into simple terms and going to share with you a few important things that almost everybody misses out when it comes to breaking free from negative patterns and feeling stuck or frustrated in their careers. And because of this, they end up in unfortunate cycles of being in the same place where they were, stuck or in the same work dynamic, or maybe even burnt out. But before we get started, if you have tried to do this and failed in the past, then listen. It's very common and it's not your fault. The reason I say this is because they don't teach us any of this in school. How to become conscious of your patterns, how to rewire them, or to figure out what your purpose is. And because the chances are, if you are struggling with limiting beliefs, a lack of confidence, or doubting yourself, you probably have tried several things and tried to get a different outcome over the years, right? So I'm going to share with you everything that I wish I knew 10 or 15 years ago when I was stuck in my own repeated negative patterns from limiting beliefs that I wasn't good enough or worthy of what I desired, which led me to the same dynamics in my relationships, both at work and romantically. And I had no idea back then that this was due to my own thoughts, my beliefs, and programming. But I can see so clearly now why the same situations kept happening again and again. And it was due to me, my subconscious beliefs that I had programmed into my mind and the emotions that I felt towards them, which were attracting these into my life repeatedly. Now, the truth is we only have a certain amount of time on this earth. And every year that you're holding yourself back, doubting whether you can change your circumstances, and continuing in negative patterns, not making any progress in your life, you're losing vital time that you're never going to be getting back. Wasting time that could be used to show up better in your life so you can increase your financial freedom, to travel, to share experiences with friends and family, and to do something fulfilling and rewarding and build a legacy that you're proud of. The reason I emphasize time is because we can create our lives and control our destiny and what we do with our time. And you don't want to get to the end of your life and regret not doing what you love, which is one of the biggest regrets of the dying. So for me, time and what we do with it is vitally important. And once you've been able to end these negative patterns and limiting beliefs, it's going to give you more time to spend creating a difference in the world, whether that's being a better father, mother, being a better colleague or husband or wife, and essentially being the person that you know you are truly capable of becoming. Like my client Graham, he came to me a while ago and he doubted his self-worth and confidence about what he wanted to do and whether he had what it took to join a new company after more than 2 decades in one organization. He didn't want to get into repeated negative self-talk and patterns that not only affected his confidence at work, but also with his family, overextending himself and burning out in the process. He started interviewing after getting very clear in what he wanted, and he got the job that he wanted after only 2 interviews that aligned with his family and health priorities, which included being close to home and having time to spend with his family during the week. He also got a 15% pay increase, but not only that, he also is happier, excited, and loves the work that he's doing and the people that he's working with. Overall, he's more confident and assured in himself, and he catches negative self-talk and has the tools to change his reactions and emotions towards them. And also like Joe was lost and frustrated, burned out, working for a large tech company and living in her masculine over-giving energy. But she found direction and clarity and moved to Singapore with her company and her family, and now feels happier, more balanced, and in love with the life again that she was desiring. And in some ways, I wish I could go back 15 years ago and learn all of the lessons that I'm going to share with you in this video today, as all of these things would have stopped me from my own patterns and limiting beliefs that resulted in me repeating past mistakes, and instead would have allowed me to make sure that my actions and behaviors were helping me to be the person I wanted to be and the life that I wanted. Now, this is just Graham and Joe and my story, but I've helped over 50 people go through this process too, through one-to-one coaching, group programs, workshops, retreats, and live events. So grab a pen and paper as I invite you to take some notes, because I'm going to be sharing quite a lot here to absorb and use in your own life. At the end of this video, I will share a few options that you can take once you have taken everything in, so make sure you stick around until the end. Before we start, I will quickly define limiting beliefs and negative patterns. Limiting beliefs are beliefs that hold you back from your desires, dreams, and goals. These can be things like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't have the time, the resources, the money, or I'm too old. And typically this can mean 3 things. Number 1, you either doubt yourself and your confidence, which can lead you to staying exactly where you are. Number 2, you repeat patterns. Think negative self-talk and spiraling downwards. Or 3, not doing all of the things you know you should or want to be doing, which is basically procrastination. So I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and why I'm teaching you this, and I will try to keep this short. So I spent over 17 years working in corporate tech around the world, from Australia, Singapore, which is where I was born and raised, in the UK, in various sales, account management, and leadership roles. But throughout my life, I've gotten into repeated patterns, often impacting my relationships, both at work and romantically, thereby impacting my direction in life. I didn't believe in myself, I didn't think I was worthy of what I wanted, and I kept getting into the same situations that held me back from feeling happy and loved. I felt like my career was on track to an extent, but I fell out of love with what I did when I reached my late 30s, and I realized that I had neglected my personal life and happiness, which is why I'm so passionate about creating a life that aligns to your desires and what's important to you, so that you're being intentional and not waking up one day to realize you've wasted countless years doing something or living a life that isn't congruent to who you are. Thankfully, this path started to change in 2018 when I moved to London. A little lost, unemployed, single, and yearning for stability, a home, and a life that I loved. And this is when I first came across my first coach who changed my trajectory for my life. Now, it wasn't always easy though. I had always thought of myself as very self-aware, but I realized I was more aware of my surroundings than of who I was. And I had to do the inner work to really uncover my struggles, my patterns of being in victim mode, sabotaging relationships, and being overly in my masculine, aggressive energy, and quite frankly, so much more. And I remember thinking, why do I end up in similar situations and patterns? Wondering why things were so hard for me. And that's when I started wondering, What's the common denominator? And I questioned whether it had to be me. I was the common denominator. And this is when I stumbled across, as I mentioned, my first coach who really changed my life and me. That's when I really dove deeper into doing the inner work, studying NLP, working with a coach, and embracing the lessons there, and doing various coaching qualifications that started to really change my patterns and behaviors. And that's when things in my life really started to change. But I also knew that my purpose on this earth was greater than just being in tech. And this is something that I'd been thinking about since my mid-20s. I often get asked how I ended up becoming a coach and doing what I do. And to me, it's simple and very clear to me now. I did a lot of work to become clearer in myself and what I wanted in my life, from my values, my desire for travel and wellness, and to create from a place of alignment. And that's why I've been traveling for the last 2 years, living in places like Mexico, Portugal, and Thailand, and working with aligned clients, running workshops, retreats, and doing things that I love. And I'm constantly reflecting and tapping into the things that spark joy in my life so that I can be from a place of creation. To add to this, I also in 2022 lost my mom. I had turned 40 shortly after and decided to take a leap of faith and put my desires in life first. I was so clear in my purpose at that point and knew in my heart that I wanted to create a life and business that felt in full alignment to who I am, aligned to my desires, my strengths, and how I could also give back. So that's a bit of my story. So if you are coachable, you have a growth mindset, and you're a mid-career employed professional who wants to create a thriving life by increasing your financial income and doing what you love, and you want to feel happier, more motivated and energized, but no one has taught you how to stop these negative patterns, then this video will definitely help. So let's dive on in. So I found that there are actually a few key pillars that you need to go through in order to finally put an end to negative patterns and behaviors so you can create a career and life that you love. I'm going to be teaching what I call the 6-step magnetic success method, which is built on the foundation of 3 pillars. Now these pillars are: phase 1 is clarity, phase 2 is mindset and beliefs, and phase 3 is your roadmap to success. So let's start with clarity. Clarity is all about becoming more clear in who you are so that you are making aligned decisions in your life and learning from past mistakes, such as what you like and don't like. Now, I've had clients come to me with repeated patterns of accepting job offers because they were desperate for money, but ended up hating their work, finding themselves feeling unmotivated and disgruntled, or not speaking up for themselves and what they wanted, and therefore getting passed up by employers for promotions. People are sometimes skeptical about whether they can break these patterns because they think they have tried everything on their own and nothing has worked. They think they have an awareness of who they are, only to realize that they weren't aware of the subconscious patterns keeping them stuck, or not realizing why the approach they kept trying wasn't getting them recognized at work, or they weren't getting the jobs they kept applying for because there was a lack of alignment in themselves, such as their patterns and their strengths, to what employers actually wanted. This exact process that I'm outlining is what I did myself to become so clear on my path that I knew in my heart coaching, wellness, travel, and living the life I am in now was right for me. So it's important to get clear on who you are, your values, your strengths and desires. And this step is so critical because, like a car and a GPS, you don't get into a car and drive around aimlessly. So you need to get clear on where you are going in your career and in your life. This also isn't just about your career goals, but ensuring that your career goals are also aligned to your life goals, your financial, health, relationships, home, and family. But this is only one phase, and without the next phase, it won't work, and I will explain why shortly. So the second phase is beliefs. So next we want to look at the beliefs and mindset phase. So now that we have clarity about who you are and where you are heading, we need to get clear on what could be holding you back. So limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, these tend to be subconscious patterns that have been imprinted into our subconscious mind from past events, trauma, things our parents told us, schooling, and our culture. But these are also the things holding us back from reaching our desires, our goals, and our dreams. And when I started working with clients, they typically express a desire for a promotion, a new job, more money, but in time we uncover a deeper, re-emerging pattern that is often holding them back from breaking free and stepping into the next level version of who they are, which may be a promotion, a new job, or often I find something much bigger that they desire. But if that subconscious fear or negative pattern is still lingering, then that desire will remain a dream. And that's why this step is so critical. You might have a dream to step into a job or career, but subconsciously you think you're too old, you don't have the skill set or capabilities, or you think you'll fail. And these are all limiting beliefs holding you back from where you and your heart truly want to get to. And if you don't address these fears and beliefs, then you'll most likely find yourself in exactly the same position as you're in today, feeling frustrated, disgruntled, bored, and wishing you had taken action. Yet you continued to spiral into the same thoughts and fears, leaving you where you are now. Or you might have taken action and changed jobs or careers, but found yourself in the same work dynamic with your boss or colleagues. Or you change companies, but you still find the work you're doing boring. Does this sound familiar? And how long has this pattern been an issue for you? Really ask yourself. Now, once you've done this step, the outcomes of doing this are profound. You will no longer be stuck in repeated patterns. You will be happier. You will think better about yourself, and therefore you will feel better about yourself. You will then have the tools and resources that you can go and implement so that you don't end up in the same downward spiral. Finally, you will have learned how you can stop living in the past and start living in the present so that you can make way for a better future. Next, we want to look at the roadmap to success pillar. This is the pillar that now that you have clarity and identified and started rewiring negative patterns, and you can pave the path forwards towards a life and career that you love by boosting your income and thriving in life. This will not be possible without the beliefs and mindset phase because it'll be repeating subconscious patterns and you will still have the beliefs that will be holding you back and keeping you stuck. So without a roadmap and vision for the future, with the right support, you might end up somewhere undesired and somewhere like where you are now. And often when I start working with people, they find themselves on a path they didn't think they would be on, lost, stuck, or without clarity and vision of where they wanted to be. But like the saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. You need to have a vision and a plan for the future. And this pillar is exactly about that. Creating a vision, align goals, and having the right support system in place to realize them, including the tools and resources to make this easy for you. This pillar is also focused on how to increase your financial abundance by creating a financial plan, a budget, savings, and an investment strategy that supports your overall life goals. So you can level up your lifestyle and support your broader aspirations in life, like traveling, home, and family, and ensuring that all of these areas align and support your life and career goals. So your roadmap to success is quite literally a roadmap and future vision of your life, come to life, and who you are becoming with clear aligned steps, the right support system, and accountability. So this is the 6-step magnetic success method to help you boost your income and thrive in your life. Maybe you're looking now and thinking, this is a lot. And you're right, there is a lot of work to do, and this is an investment in your growth. Chances are as well that if you've been struggling with these things for a long time, it's unreasonable to think that you're going to change all of this overnight. And anyone that tells you that you can do this with the blink of an eye is definitely lying to you. I know that this works. I have done this myself in my own life, and I've had over 50 clients go through this process too. Now, you know how to do all of this, and you understand the 3 pillars that you need to go through in order to make this a reality. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are 4 paths that you can take. And these are the 4 options. 1, you can do nothing and be in the same place as you are now. 2, you can try this yourself and you could spend months or even years trying to figure it out on your own, or you end up in the same place or worse. Number 3 is you could work with someone else and they might not have the skills or the results that I do, Or 4, you can do this by booking a strategy and connection call. And if we are a good fit together, then I will work with you until you have gone through this process and you get the results that you want. So that concludes this video, and I want to thank you for listening this far to end negative patterns so you can be in the career and life of your dreams. If you are ready to take the next step and want my help to do this, then book a call down below and I will be happy to answer any questions.